I wish to see the face of God. Every day in my drab life, I can hear God speaking to me. I know not what he says, only that I must do as it implies. I crave the embrace of knowing God's face. I crave the distant breathing, where the earth beats and sways like a gentle heartbeat. For many days I have dreamed of this place. For many nights I see the small town. It calls to me every waking moment. When it isn't a waking moment, it is an illusion in my eyes. Something that, even when I close them, continues to haunt me. I hear the sounds of distant breathing beneath the earth. My family said it was something I needed to have checked out. It frightens my children when I begin to talk to them about it. I want them to see it too. The kind face of God. My wife has become so fearful of me that she has taken them and moved as far away from me as she can. My employer became frightened as well. My skin is cold to the touch. My eyes are like black dots with soulless white. My teeth are gnarled, or so they say, because every time I look in the mirror, what I see is the face of a believer soon to meet their almighty maker. I spent weeks saving whatever little cash I had to just fly far north to that place. I had to sell my television, my teeth, a kidney, a toe or two, and the hair on my head. My skin, according to onlookers, looks like wax and melts poured into a poorly made mannequin. But to me, this is just the face of a disciple, the body of an acolyte, a true believer in God. The ride on the plane was so peaceful. I remember overhearing the attendants saying it was a miracle I got on to begin with. To think of the audacity of our modern day, to not see a true pilgrim and look upon them without any semblance of certainty. How ridiculous. But it wasn't all bad. I had a road to myself. Every time the children would see me, they would burst into tears and beg their parents to hide them from the hole-covered monster. Modern America truly is a godless place. Funnier still, when I got off the plane to hitch the ride I had bought to the small Alaskan town, do you know what the taxi driver did? I approached his window, thinking that I approached as politely as possible, yet when the driver saw me, his eyes nearly popped out of his head. He began shrieking about the eyes all over my neck, the way my arms are torn open and grafted with bones, the way my clothing made me look like a grim reaper. Of course, all alleged. I found it very rude that they didn't even compliment the complexion of my eyes. I practically had them everywhere. Need I say more on the ride itself? The man practically tore off his own mirrors just so he didn't have to look at me. I am but a cardinal of God. I hear his voice wherever I go. It soothes my skin and gives me the sight to see past everything in my life. And yet this man had the audacity to not even give me the time of day to look me in my eyes. Every time I tried speaking to him, he began only responding with simple answers. His hands and arms were shaking so much that I thought he would crash into the nearby ridgeline and smash his head open like a rotting pumpkin after Halloween. Macabre descriptions aside, when I finally approached the rustic abandoned town, my eyes nearly fell out of my sockets in excitement like they normally do. It was exactly what I saw in my visions. It was exactly what I was promised. And the driver was more happy than ever to leave me here, flooring it into the night as I was alone in the dark, empty spaces. I must admit, even as he was driving away, I felt a little bad. I didn't even get to leave him his tip. after all the kindness he showed me on the way. As I meandered through the ghost town, my many feet carrying me a greater distance than most with every step, I would look upon all of these beautiful, overgrown, abandoned houses. My kids would have loved this place. There's so much room, so much to explore. My wife would have enjoyed the quiet. Her job was always so loud and uptight. I would have given the world if I could have brought them with me. I would have torn off my own right hand. Not that it would mean much, per se. It grows back very quickly. Pardon my ramblings, but that is why I wish to see the face of God. To know that no matter what happens to me, my loved ones and friends who have long since torn me out of their lives like a tumor will be favored by the Lord. That through my pilgrimage it may better their lives and satisfy my own. I approached the old bunker, the one I had seen 1,000 times over, strictly with collars. It was built into the side of the church. They believed the doors being welded shut could stop me. They also believed the many yards of barbed wires, fences, and mines could stop me as well. I wondered why they didn't have anyone stationed here. Is it because no one knew this place existed anymore? Or because all the guards were believers, like me, a believer in the Lord? Needless to say, the doors to the bunker were more like paper when your fingers end in suction cups in fiberglass. The stairway down was vast. The darkness made it seem endless, but beneath this church was our Lord. I knew it well, for I had seen it myself. I began my descent shortly after. My eyes would all flicker and pulsate to produce even the smallest glimpses of light. I could feel them humming in my skin. When my legs felt they took too big of a step, the tendrils of muscle and toenails would glide me down, landing me to a gentle stop on the soles of my heels. The light switch at the bottom was a bit difficult to find for a moment. Keep in mind, this place had been abandoned for years, and when I did eventually find the lights, what I saw confirmed my suspicion. Thousands of believers, just like myself, piled up on both sides of the hall. Skeletons mangled with corpses, their blood preserved by God's sacred collars. I would have given them a proper burial, but this was proper enough. They were with the Lord now. The wall they were all facing was grotesque, beautifully grotesque. Each one of them had bands of skin pulled off their body, latching onto the wall. This is where I must admit that I felt sorry they never realized the secret. While, yes, they did enjoy the splendor of God's presence, they never got to behold Him. If I could, I would have taken their eyes out of their sockets and made some in my own body so they could behold God with me. But those eyes were part of the flesh attached to the wall. I grabbed the wall with all 9 of my hands, pulling at it with a fierce force of faith. The wall did resist for a time, but the sweet voice of God on the other side drove me into success. The wall shattered beneath my grip, and before me was a long, sanctimonious walkway. It was suspended over an immense pit that stretched into the throat of the world, and I could hear it down below, the distant breathing, the beating of the heart. God is here. I looked across the bridge, the sounds of my many footsteps echoing throughout the halls before me. Before me, before on a single platform, suspended by many chains and connected by the recent path, I saw it. The button. The button to release God. The button that would bring about rapture. That would bring about eternal bliss for everyone on the globe. The button that would bring my family and friends back to me and sate my loneliness in the sweet embrace of God. The button that would end the world as we know it and bring us to enlightenment. It was an obvious choice. Who wouldn't choose paradise? When I slammed one of my many hands down onto it, I could hear it. The sounds of fans rebounded through their pipes like trumpets, the sounds of whirring like angels singing, the sounds of the hatch far above us opening like it looked like heaven itself was seeping through, as the sun must have risen in my time down here, and far below I could see him. God is awake. 1,000 legs covered in the masks and faces of cherubs, the slinking and rattling body of golden and pale yellow flesh, the white of their vast antennae, and upon every shell, every segment of their body, as they arose from their slumber, thousands upon thousands of all-seeing eyes gazed upon me. Size was beyond anything what I could explain. Like the night sky took form, the eyes burning with many lights. Its face turned to me as it rose, its eyes just below its endless antennae, sensing the air for the righteous. I saw it, at last, the pincers of the Goliath, rattling against each other as its boundless, colorful eyes fixed on me. The millions of quadrillions of legs all stopped as it saw me. Their mouths fell open as they began to scream, and God opened his gnashing maws to me. I'm finally going